You had a list of 8 thesis statements that you needed to say if they were good or not good, and identify the problems with the thesis statements that aren't good. Now I'm going to check those 8 thesis statements and discuss with you whether they are too broad, too narrow, have overlapping points, or are good thesis statements. Let's look at number 1. Although I enjoy my job, I sometimes tire of the long hours, the stress, and the pressure. The problem with this is not a good thesis statement because stress and pressure are too similar. If you don't think they are too similar, make sure to look these words up in the dictionary and see if their definitions are similar. So, because these 2 points are too similar, we can say that the points are overlapping. You wouldn't be able to write a good essay with these points because 2 of your points would basically be saying the same thing. Let's look at the next one. For me, the ideal job provides on-site childcare, up-to-date equipment, and great working conditions. What do you think about these 3 points? On-site childcare. Could we write a paragraph about this? Yes, I think we could write a paragraph about how childcare at a job would make it a better job. Up-to-date equipment. Could we write a paragraph about this? Yes, I think we could. How about great working conditions? Could we write a paragraph about great working conditions? Well, yes, but in fact we could write a lot more about great working conditions because great working conditions could include childcare. It could include up-to-date equipment. In fact, great working conditions is the ideal job. So that means that this point is too broad. The third point is too broad. We need to make a more specific point like great coworkers or something like that to have an effective thesis statement. The benefits of learning English are improved job possibilities, a better life, and options for higher education. We could definitely write a paragraph about our job possibilities. Could we write a paragraph about a better life? No. We would have to, again, write a book, and it might even include job possibilities and our third point, higher education. So this point, a better life, is too broad, so it's not a good thesis statement. 3 advantages to working and going to school at the same time. What do you think about this thesis statement? Do we know what the 3 points are? No, we don't. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay to not specify what the 3 points are. So we don't see any problems with this. We don't know what the points are. We don't know if they're overlapping, too broad or too narrow. So actually, this is a good thesis statement. Bilingual education can hurt students' second language development, limit their social connections, and damage their self-esteem. So here we have language, a paragraph, social connections, a paragraph, and self-esteem, which is personal. So each of these is a different point. I don't see any points that are too narrow or too broad. So this is another good thesis statement. So we had one good thesis statement that didn't specify the points, and we had one good thesis statement that did specify the points. So it's possible to write a good thesis statement in any way, but we want to just avoid those broad, narrow, or overlapping points. To learn Spanish are to travel, for work, and to speak to my husband. Could we write a paragraph about traveling? Yes. Could we write a paragraph about work? Yes. Could we write a paragraph about speaking to our husband? Probably not. This point is too narrow. We need to make this a better, maybe a slightly broader point. For example, to communicate with family, okay, or to maintain family relationships. That would be much better point, and we can talk about speaking to the writer's husband as an example or support in that point. Living in a different country has 3 effects on people's lives. Do we know what those effects are? No, we don't. So this is actually a good thesis statement. It shows that there are 3 points, but it doesn't tell what they are. Students cheat because they don't understand the material, they are lazy, and they don't want to work hard. You can see that this thesis statement has overlapping points. Which of the 2 points in the thesis statement overlap? Hopefully you said lazy and don't want to work hard. So one of these points would need to be replaced to have an effective thesis statement. Okay, remember, you always need at least 3 points in your essays for this class. If not, you could even have 4. We would love to see more points than 3, but 3 is the absolute minimum. I hope you were able to tell what are the qualities of good thesis statements, and I hope this will help you learn how to write better thesis statements.